a judicial clerk supervisor in my county in Arizona. I have been on the job now for 3 weeks, and it's very, 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 very busy. I was already really busy, but this new job, I've been putting in over 40, 50 hours, so it's definitely an adjustment. In trying to apply for this new position, I was really putting a lot of focus on that. And I am a mom. I have 2 kids. I have a 15-year-old, almost 16, and an 11-year-old. They're a little bit to handle, so I'm always really busy with that. And it's easy to kind of forget about yourself because you're putting so much into these other things. So I'm really glad to be here to reignite my fire and, get my spark going again and just kind of reapply myself. And I'm super, super excited. This is my 3rd live. So, yeah, kind of a pro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So how did you find LadyBoss?
I found LadyBoss June 3rd, 2017. I was home. I had just kind of started that year in January with a weight loss journey again. I have yo-yoed my entire life since I was in 7th grade. I would lose some weight, I would gain some back, lose, gain, just constantly since I was 13 years old. And I was on that journey again. I had lost about 15 pounds by myself, I think, from January to June. And I was just walking around in my house, and I was on Facebook, and I was scrolling, and I actually saw Kaelin's video for the live-only offer, where she was just ripping paper off the wall and showing what this offer comes with. And I don't normally click on any of the promo videos for anything. And just something stood out about Kaelin. Something stood out about this video that I remember the exact spot in my house that I was in, that I just stopped and I sat and I watched the entire thing, and I signed up as a lifer right away. I jumped right in because I knew that this is exactly what I needed. This is everything. I mean, the whole trainer is just every single tool that you need just laid out for you. You don't even have to put in, the thinking and everything. You just got to put in the work. And I signed up. Within that first year, 4 months later, I came to my first LadyBoss Live, and that just absolutely changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. I'm going to get emotional. To me, the biggest thing about LadyBoss was the sisterhood. And I'm so blessed to have been, I was actually sparkled my trip in 2017. My sisters, I couldn't do it financially. And I pride myself on being really real in my posts. And a lot of women have told me that, because when I'm having a bad day, when I'm crying, because I've posted pictures of me crying, in my posts of just whatever life going on, and people have reached out to me and specifically told me, I love your post, you're so real, you're so raw, and apparently I had always had this complex with not being memorable. I don't know what, I do remember where it resulted from, just a girl that I used to play softball with that didn't remember me years later, but apparently I carried that for years. And I've always felt that, there's nothing really that special about me that people would remember me. And starting just in this online community, just posting for the first few months, I had so many women come up to me at Live 2017 and cry for me that I'm so glad you were able to make it. And this was just so new to me. I had just joined this group, and these women knew who I was, and they were so happy for me. And then, it just changed my life, absolutely changed my life. And even just yesterday, I had a sister come up, another LadyBoss, recognized me from my posts and everything. And she had just dyed her hair. So I had asked what her name was. She told me her name, and I knew exactly who she was from the page. And I was like, oh yeah, I know you, and you just dyed your hair, it looks great. And she's like, oh my God, you know me. And I'm like, yes, let's take a picture, And so just to be able to have it come full circle and to give that back, It's so amazing. It is such a blessing in my life, and LadyBoss has absolutely changed every aspect of my life because my faith is stronger, and that started with my sisters. And Angel had reached out to me my second month that I was a LadyBoss, and it just really, every aspect of my life has truly, I have grown because of just that first step of clicking on that video, joining as a lifer. My entire outlook on life, everything is so much better.
Okay, interview's done. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you just answered all my questions. That's amazing. Awesome. I just had to ask you one thing. You're
Okay.
like, oh, love it. All right, so before you started LadyBoss, what were some of your struggles? You talked about yo-yoing.
Yeah, some of my struggles, and it's still something that I actually do still struggle with. The moving is pretty easy for me. The working out, the exercising, I've usually done pretty well with that. The food is definitely a struggle. Life getting in the way is my biggest struggle. I had lost, at my peak in following the program, I had lost 55 pounds. And I was in the best shape I've ever been. I had muscles that I didn't even know existed. I was inspiring others. I recruited like 3 of my friends from home to be lady bosses. I was doing great. And then life hit in a big way with my son. And just some of the struggles that he goes through and that he struggles with. And he's diagnosed with depression and, a few other things. And, at this time in my life, in that season, I couldn't pour into myself because I was pouring so much into him. And I had a little bit of that mom guilt, everything became about him. I consumed myself in making sure that he was okay and that he was better. And slowly but surely throughout that process, the weight kind of started to creep back on. And it's a long process, and it's something that we're still struggling with. I was still having, issues right before I got on a plane to come to Live this year. And it's something that I'm going to be dealing with, this depression that people suffer from, and to see your 15-year-old going through it is the hardest thing ever. And to know that there's nothing, that you can really do to kind of help them. It's easy to lose yourself. It's easy to not care about going to the gym because, I've got this going on over here. It's a matter of my son's life or death. It's easy to not care about what I'm eating that day. It's easy to not care about how I look physically. But then I do that so much that I get to this point that I've gained back over half the weight that I lost. And I don't feel good about myself, and I don't fit into my clothes, and I don't, and then it starts to come back on me, and you start to have that ugly talk towards yourself again. And even when, I said I had made it to that point, I felt like I had made it, it's that maintaining that's really hard to do. And you fall off the wagon, and you start to become ashamed of yourself. Like, look what you did to yourself, like you let yourself get back to this point. And so my biggest struggle, I would say, would be not letting life get in the way of putting myself first and of, taking care of myself, because life is always going to get in the way. There's never a perfect time. There's never, oh, well, after this event or after this holiday or whatever, there's never a perfect time. Something is always going to get in the way. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be trials and tribulations. And it's learning the skills that we need and those coping skills and having the support, so that we can still do for ourselves while we're going through those times. And because I still have big life stuff going on at home, yesterday I did sign up for personal results coaching because I know that this is my struggle, and I know that I need help with this, and I know that when I get home, yes, I'm already like, yes, we're going to go hard, it's going to be great. but I need that something extra. And I was terrified. I was ugly crying in the back because it's like I knew this was God telling me, this is your next step. This is what you're going to do. You're going to make it happen. You know, the whole point of this conference this weekend, make it happen. I said, you know what? I just got this new position. Perfect time. I'm going to make it happen. I don't know what this is going to look like yet, but I'm going to make it happen because I need this and I deserve this and I'm worthy of it. So
good. So good.
Yeah.
And, you know, you need to show up for your family.
Exactly.
As your best self.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that unless you put the work in.
Yep.
Awesome. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you started on your journey, or even if you, I mean, you kind of already spoke to this too, about like, even right when you signed up for coaching, like what was the moment where you were like that, or was there a moment where you're like, this is the time, like this was my breaking point or my turning point?
Just coming back to live. Like I said, this is my third live, and this is actually the heaviest I've been. And that's so backwards. And I know what to do. I know the steps that I need to take. I know how to eat. I know the blocking method, you know. I know the movements, the workout. I have the trainer. I know how to do everything. But just in the speakers and just in having, you know, my sisters surrounding me and everything, and hearing all of the, you know, everybody kind of had a theme up there about, you know, doing it afraid and doing it anyways, and just pushing through, and, you know, not being afraid to ask for help. And I've kind of done it before, but it obviously didn't stick as much as it needed to. And so, and I'm not a person that's afraid to ask for help. And so when I know that I need that extra push, that I need just something extra that I haven't tried yet, I'm there. You know, I was just standing there, you know, and Kaelin does such a good job at that, you know, making you realize that. And, you know, wish she had us stand up, you know, close our eyes. And then once the music started, I said, oh, here we go. and I knew it. I knew it because I already knew what I was carrying in my heart when I came today or this weekend. You know, I knew that I wasn't happy with myself, and I was ashamed of where I've gotten. And I just, you know, it's hard carrying that when you've felt like you've succeeded and then you've fallen back. Because how am I supposed to encourage these other women, and how am I supposed to be a role model for them and a leader for them? And, you know, and I just earned my wings, you know, earlier this year, and I'm supposed to be an example. And here I am kind of, you know, falling back. But it's also, you know, a testimony of never giving up and showing that just because I'm an angel doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means, you know, I'm a regular person just like you. I go through the same things that you do. I've fallen back. I've gained back, you know, like 30 pounds. And you know, it's okay because I'm not going to stop. I'm never going to stop. I'm perfect for my season. You know, this is what life is. This is what was going on in my life at the moment. And it's finding that balance and coming right back and not starting at a day one again. There's no more day ones. It's picking right back up where you left off and just continuing to push through, continuing to move forward, and being afraid, but doing it anyways. You do it big, you do it afraid, you just push through.
Exactly. So awesome. Well, let's see. When you started your journey, or even now, I mean, you can even speak to this now, like starting your coaching journey. Mm-hmm. What do you want to get out of this?
Oh, man.
Let's talk physically first.
Physically, I would like to be comfortable in my own skin. I would like to get dressed for work in the morning and feel confident and not feel like any less of a boss at work because I don't have the right clothes for it. Like getting this new position, this new supervisor position, I need to dress better. You know, I'm an example, you know, I'm the face of my county. And so I don't really have the clothes right now. And I don't want to go out and buy the clothes because I don't want to buy that bigger size. And so I'm kind of putting that off, but the clothes that I already have, you know, the pants don't fit very well. And so it's every day, it's having to figure that out, what am I going to wear? And then, there was even a speaker that talked about that, that, there's times where you go to your closet and you're like, I just don't want to go anymore. I don't want to do it, because we put so much on our appearance and how we look and how we fit in our clothes and how comfortable we are. And when you're not, it really does a number on your mentality. And so I really just want to be able to go into my closet, pick out whatever I want, and not think, does this still fit me? Or, is this going to look okay? But just being able to get ready and be confident and go to work. And just, when you feel confident, people can tell. You give off this vibe and just everything. And so I want to be able to do that, because I'm good at what I do. And there's no reason that I should be, messing with my shirt and these things in meetings and just trying to look professional. That has nothing to do with my ability and my skill. And so that shouldn't be in my head, but it is. And so with the coaching, I definitely want to reach, I would love to be back on stage. I was on stage at one point for 50 pounds lost. Did not go this year because I'm like, doesn't count. I gained it back, But next year I will be on that stage for 50 pounds lost. I just want to be comfortable. I want to look good. I want to feel confident in my own skin.
Awesome. What tools have helped you through to get to this point? So the trainer app or lean or anything like that.
Honestly, my biggest tool that I have taken from LadyBoss is the sisterhood. The trainer is amazing, the supplements are amazing, but to me, LadyBoss is the sisterhood. I have been, and I will be, at every single live, because it's a chance for me to get to see my sisters from all over the country that I get to see once a year. The first LadyBoss, I actually met up with a friend that we met through a hashtag. We met through a hashtag from the month of August in 2017 when I was a brand new LadyBoss. She was fairly new. That was her first year. We both used the hashtag. We would, hey, you use this one too? Yeah. And we talk every single day. She is one of my absolute best friends. She has helped me through a lot of things in life. She's helped me to grow my faith. She has prayed over me when I'm going through these, struggles in life. We're to the point now, she wasn't able to come, but I actually went to go see her in her hometown of Texas last month, because she's absolutely one of my best friends. You meet so many amazing women through this program, so many different ages, walks of life, ethnicities. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're just a woman going through the same things that you are, with those same goals, and it's amazing. It doesn't matter who they are, sometimes I know, and because for the first year I was this way, if it's an angel, you're like, oh, it's the same. I mean, nowhere else do you feel confident in, talking to a stranger and it being okay and not being like rejected or judged or, anything like that. There's none of that here. The community, it's your sisters that are going to pull you out of those struggles when you're having that bad day, just like girls on stage said today, when you're having a bad day, reach out to your sisters, because they love you and they are going to help pull you back up. They're going to remind you of who you are and what you need to do. Sometimes it's not pretty, but they love you enough to do that. And it's amazing to me that you can gain that from an online community, that's how it starts. And just in making these connections, they end up being for life. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And that is the most, I'm so blessed to have found LadyBoss when I did, because it has just absolutely changed my life. I talk to these girls every single day.
Well, I'm going to put you in all of my Result Sisters groups, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so what do you think other women just like you need to hear?
I think other women need to just give it a chance. Give yourself that opportunity to become better. don't be afraid, don't be, judgmental, just really kind of be open-minded, be open to what this can do for you, what it can do for your life. It's not just a weight loss community. It's so much more. Someone the other day, they were not, I think we met them in the elevator, they were not lady bosses, and they asked, what's this whole lady boss thing about? And it's hard to kind of sum it up, because there's so many different aspects to it. And it's really hard to sum it up, but I opened my mouth and the thing that came out, and I hope I can remember how I said it, but I just said, it's an online community that's geared towards weight loss and nutrition and fitness, but really it's about loving each other and women and empowerment and just, living your best life. And however I said it, I was like, wow, that sounded really good. Because it's so much more. Like I said, the weight comes and goes, life happens, it's something that we'll always be working on. But what you gain from this community can absolutely change your life. I am a completely different person in every aspect because of this program. It started with this program. I'm able to just, my mentality has shifted so much. I've been through some tough times in the last year with kids, with relationships and breakups, with not getting the job that I thought I was meant to have, that I thought I was training for the last 15 years, and I didn't get it. And I was able to still push through with my head held high because I knew, what, that's okay. There's something out there better. God's got a better plan for me. And I've always been a pretty positive person, but something like that in the past easily could have just ripped me apart. The struggles that I have in motherhood and with my kids, easily things that other people are like, how are you so happy and so positive still when you have all this going on in your life? It's like, I know that everything's going to be okay. I know that God's got my back. I know that, I have such a great support system that it's, while things aren't always easy, I know that I'm going to be okay. And it's amazing to me that started with this fitness community. It blows my mind sometimes when I really think about it. And I never thought it would be that. I thought, yeah, maybe I'll lose another 20 pounds or something. I had no idea that it would change the rest of my life.
So awesome. Last question. What does being an angel in the LadyBoss community mean to you?
Oh, man. Sometimes it's still pretty crazy to me that I'm an angel. Being an angel means, to me, that I inspire others, that whatever's gone on in my life, whatever is a part of my story, that there's other women out there who are dealing with the same types of things. There's other women out there that need to see what I've done to overcome this. There's that saying, you were given this mountain because you were heavy enough to push through it, or however it goes. I really think, and I have had people reach out to me before when I've posted about things going on and, about never giving up and never stopping and keep pushing. And I've had people message me, that I'm going through the same thing with my son, or I just got cheated on too, and, just all these things. And you realize that you could be changing somebody's life. Just that simple post that you did, when you just kind of put it all out there, somebody needed to hear that, and so being that for at least one person, that's amazing. And, just being open and available to them and helping them on their journey, because, even just being here and just talking to everyone and being so kind and generous, and it's not something that we get out in the real world. This is like LadyBoss land, and so everything is just amazing. And when you can take a piece of that back home, and even if it's not, the norm where you are, you can start to spread that sparkle at home, and you can start to affect your community and your family and everything. And so just as angels, to know that we are looked at as kind of the leaders of that and to help encourage and inspire and empower, it's definitely an honor. And when I got that email, I lost my mind because it's definitely a huge accomplishment. And it is something, like I said, I signed up as a lifer that very first day, in that first hour that I heard about LadyBoss. And it's definitely something that I plan, I'm in it for life. So it's great to be an angel. My next goal is to hit LadyBoss of the Month. This is a part of my life. This is a huge part of my life. So I'm truly honored to be an angel.